Aotearoa, and welcome to Tuesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news there's been no improvement in the backdrop to the global economy. To open the new week, oil prices have risen after Trump warned that Tehran is running out of time to reach a deal he likes, while Iranian media reports indicated the two sides remain far apart in negotiations. Shipping flows through the Strait of Hormuz remain effectively shut, keeping supplies tight. In the US, the New York Fed's Regional Business Leaders Survey shows that their service sector is continuing to contract, but now at a lesser pace. Activity has been contracting there since late 2024. Inflationary pressures remain persistent, with firms reporting steep increases in input costs and still elevated selling prices. And staying in the US, the NAHB Wells Fargo Housing Market Index, which measures builder confidence in the market for newly built single-family homes, rose in May from April, which was its lowest level since September 2025. They too complain about sharply elevated input costs. And we should probably note that Elon Musk has lost his case against Sam Altman and OpenAI to claim the company. The jury quickly decided Musk had no case. In China, new home prices across 70 cities they reference shrank 3.5% in April from a year earlier, following a 3.4% decline in the previous month. This is the 34th consecutive month of contraction. It is also the sharpest contraction since May 2025. The weakness in their property sector goes on and on. The pace of decline in their existing home market is even faster. For a fourth month, China's electricity production fell from the previous month, but it was 2.6% higher than the same month a year ago. This is a good reference point to assess their industrial production, which they said rose 4.1% in April from a year ago. But that was the slowest pace they've reported for an April since 2022. Fixed asset investment there fell 1.8% in April on the same basis. At the same time, they said retail sales fell 0.5% in April after a 0.1% decline in March. And Chinese banks now have an average net interest margin of 1.4% according to the latest data at March 2026. That is news because it's a record low. For perspective, New Zealand banks have a NIM of 2.3%. And Singapore said its non-oil exports rose at a fast 24.5% clip in April from a year ago, up sharply from a 15% pace in March. This was the 8th consecutive month of growth and the fastest pace in 14 years, with electronics the growth leader. In Australia, Cotality reported that 1,939 capital city homes went to auction last week, an 11% drop from the previous week, but still tracking higher than a year ago when 1,784 home auctions were held. The preliminary clearance rate rose 1.1 percentage points to 57.5%, still a soft result, but with highly mixed outcomes across different cities. This was the 5th time in the past 7 weeks that the early clearance rate had held below 60% and the 3rd lowest result for the year to date. The Aussie budget signals may have contributed to the mood. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.59%, down 1 basis point from yesterday at this time. And the price of gold will start today up $8 at $4,547 an ounce. Silver's up $1 at just over $76.50 an ounce. And American oil prices have risen $1.50 to just over $107 a barrel, while the international Brent price is now just over $110.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is up 30 basis points from yesterday at just on 58.7 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're also up 30 basis points at 82 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're up 20 basis points at 50.4 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just under 62.2, which is up 30 basis points from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $76,661 and down 1.8% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been modest at just under plus or minus 1.6%. And it turns out Trump's investment partners are enabling Iran to access the global financial system and evade US sanctions. Iran's Novatex has processed at least $2.3 billion through Tron and BNB chain, blockchain ledgers started by backers of the Trump's family World Liberty Financial. Of course, there'll be no Justice Department investigation. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.